Hello once again, Grandmaster J, and NFAC in general, and the community as a whole. I have yet another video for you. You chose to have your first noticeable march, at least one that was on the radar, at Stone Mountain. I have no doubt that you have probably burned a few Confederate flags in your lifetime. And I have no doubt that you hate the guts of every man etched onto that mountain. Jefferson Davis, Robert E. Lee, and Stonewall Jackson. Personally, I think we need to engrave Nathan Bedford Forrest on there, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, you have really found a way to make yourself follow in the precise footsteps of the Confederacy to your own peril. You are currently only about, I think 12% of the population or thereabouts, and whites still make up 60% of the population. And so far, about 19% of blacks are gun owners, whereas like 31% for whites. And if America is the white supremacist, fascist regime that you say it is, that means that the translation is you have absolutely no chance, dude. I'm sorry. Because it's like, I looked at the NFAC rally. You don't even have any belt-fed weapons, let alone something that could take out a tank. If you start a war, you're going to be totally fucked. Let me make that clear. I know you like to fantasize yourself as the Black Messiah and all that stuff, and you probably think you're the second coming of Malcolm X. I got news for you. You're not the second coming of Malcolm X. You're more like a cheap cardboard copy of Malcolm X. Kind of like, it's like comparing Malcolm X to you would be like comparing Jaws to a shitty shark sci-fi movie. And, one of those creature features, but enough about that. It's just ludicrous to think that you could win. I mean, you're following the Confederacy's footsteps, and you're making the exact same mistakes. You're going to war. You're trying to secede from the United States, first and foremost, and you want to go to war with an enemy that has all the advantages. That has all the advantages over you. You're not really thinking about what you're doing. And you are just, if you do this, you will be fucked. I want you to understand that. You will be fucked if you end up in a race war with white people. Remember, it's just, I know you read that thing about the Black Messiah, and I know you want to, you definitely filled out a application for that job, and you're trying very hard to get that job. I can see that. And Grandmaster J, you are basically Donald Trump for black people. People will follow you around like you're divine, despite the fact you're dumber than a box of rocks. And you see, the problem is that you may one day get a lot of people killed needlessly and for a pointless cause. Because I guarantee you, if you try to take Texas, America's not going to sit by and let that happen. I mean, we are not going to let this country be torn apart without a mighty, mighty effort to save it. I mean, believe me, we love this country and we will defend it at all costs. And if you're counting on, if you're counting on the help of, like, you might say the Latino community, I think in the future you're probably going to start saying black and brown people, like a few black power activists already do. But the truth is, I wouldn't count on the help of the Hispanic population. Remember, George Zimmerman was Hispanic. And the Latin Kings, they are fighting a race war in Chicago right now. And I have seen blacks and Latinos interact going back since elementary school, and I've noticed that you two do not play well in the sandbox together normally. And so I wouldn't exactly count on the Hispanic population to just rise up with you and take up arms at your side. You don't believe me, go watch End of Watch. I know you don't like cops, but, and I'm not a fan of police brutality either, but it has to stop. I mean, you'll see. It's just, you know, and whatever you do, don't expect any help from the yellow man, or Asians, or whatever you want to call them. Remember, China threw a bunch of Africans out of their houses, evicted them during the coronavirus in a racist form of ethnic cleansing. So you can't really count on them either. I wouldn't, if I were you. But the truth is that once you get past the euphoria of thinking you're the Black Messiah, or that you're under the Black Messiah and that your day has come, you must surely see, if you just look at the stats and the facts, that you are bound to fail. Because the military is predominantly white, the government is predominantly white, law enforcement is predominantly white. They've got all the tools, gadgets, and gizmos, and things that go bang, and things that go boom, too. I mean, as I said before, you have no belt-fed machine guns. You don't even have anti-tank anything, let alone anything that could take out a tank. You don't have anything that could be conducive for a combined arms offensive. And it's just a complete fallacy. And you might be able to count on help from Antifa, but they're even less well-armed than you are. I mean, they got, you know, clubs and sticks in their bare hands, and yeah, they'll go around punching Nazis. But believe me, they're not a very efficient force. They have a lot of numbers, but they're not very efficient. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, because ironically, I find it the greatest irony that, you know, these people are following in the footsteps of the Confederacy. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm pretty sure a lot of you will hit the dislike button, but I don't really give a shit. So anyway, be good, y'all, and peace, because I mean that.